chapter 19. And I find that there is a story of a little boy who has succumbed to the illness of a unfulfilled word. But I want to go back to chapter 3 real quick, verse 16. And we find here where there is, verse 15, there is two ladies who come to King Solomon. He would be asking for wisdom from God on how to interpret and be a good judge. They come to him with a baby and a story. And one of them says that she had a roommate who was a friend of hers. She consequently brings her to the people's court today. She goes on and she says, we had a living arrangement. We stayed in the same house together, and we both became pregnant around the same time. It is that I had my baby first, and 3 days later, she had hers. It is that one night she laid on her baby and her baby died. And she would take my living baby and replace it with her dead baby. And the problem here with the text is that she put the dead one on my nipple to suck. And when I woke up, I tried to understand what the problem was, why the baby was so cold. She said, I realized while looking closer at it that this was not even my baby. This was her baby who died and she put next to my chest. It is that you've ever been in a place where somebody connected to you is the one who is destroying your dream from the inside out. I'm talking to somebody where you've been connected to the wrong people for the right reasons. Is that you're thinking that they're protecting you and they are all in demise of you. I'm talking to somebody who can be real and relevant and say, I've had some bad friends. I've been in some terrible relationships. I've been in a place where I'm trying to give food, trying to give life, trying to give shelter, and everybody who comes seems like they're doing well, and half of them are draining the life from me. I can't hear nobody on today. She says that the problem was it was cold, but I was laying on it. I can't hear nobody. You would go to bed with it on your mind. You would wake up trying to nurse the dream, and everybody who comes to work the dream is not working the dream for you, but working the dream against you. Is that you come up with the business plan, you came up with the idea, and you would hire them as good friendship, as a sign of good faith, as a sign of goodwill, that even though we've had a shaky past, I'm still gonna give you opportunity, and the first chance that they get, they stab in it. But you notice now that something dead doesn't come back to life just by laying on something that has life. It's the opposite, that while the body is decaying, it is taking everything that is attached to it with it. This is her friend attaching something she birthed that's dead onto somebody else who has something living, hoping that they slowly die. I can't hear nobody on today. I'm talking about where you're positive, you speaking life, you doing what you have to do, you on the assignment, you're on your task, you're on your dream, and they just come and laying silently next to you but draining life from you. They would be seeming to help you in the process and really be sowing seeds of demise. They behind your back talking. They trying to get the boyfriend against you. They trying to take your girl from you. They destroying the marriage from the inside. They seem like they're helping, but really that's death sucking on you. I'm talking to somebody who knows that I don't need no new friends. I don't need nobody that close to me who would seemingly be the enemy disguised as a friend. And the king says, here's what we gonna do. Bring me a sword and cut up the dream that's alive. The real mother answered and said, no, please don't do that. Let her Let her have the business. Let her have the church. Let her have the car. Let her have the man. Let her have the baby I birthed. I would rather see it in somebody else's hands living than to see it dying. King says, you said good. I'm going to grant you this child because I understand what real love really is. And on today, I've got to tell you in relation that God does the exact same thing for us, is that we would be in a place where we would be unknowing that we're being drained of life. And God looks at them and says, they're on my shoulders because I created them. But the enemy has them because he's in their bed. I'm going to give myself so that I can be cut into pieces and hung on a cross. I will give my life so that they can live with him. And I'll have to die and redeem them back to myself. I'll be in suppression so they can not face depression. I'll be subjected to being beaten and whipped so they can be healed. I'll be put in a place where they can doubt me so that they can believe in me. He says, I'll take the L. He says, I'll be the baby today. That you're not saving me, but I'm saving you. You can see the flaw and the error of your way. You can understand why it had to be this way. You had to go through these storms and trials and tests and circumstance. You had to go through it. Because if you didn't go through it, you wouldn't know how you could believe God to feel for you the way that he does. You would have no idea what it's like to lose. What it's like to have and hold and then let go of. But that's to help you identify with what God felt when he gave his son for you. I'm not sure what they're preaching. I'm not sure what they're teaching. I don't know what they've told you. But can I tell you on today that he is a savior and a friend. He is a confidant and a father. He is your mother, your brother, your sister, your aunt. He is the teacher. He's the pastor. He's the master. He is the servant on today. So whatever I need you to be, God says, I'll be just that. If you need me, Moses, in a situation where you're freeing your people, he says, I am. If you need me to be the freer of Jonah and the whale, he says, I am. If you need me to be Jesus, a savior, he says, I am. Try him today. He is.